Hi, very good afternoon to all. My name is Bhavna and our subject is business economics. Up to now we discussed what are the law of variable proportions, and now we are discussing what are the isoquants curve. Already we discussed there are the types of production curve. In short run production only one variable input. Here isoquants has two variable inputs, means in isoquants we are taking two variable inputs, that is capital and labor. The concept of isoquants is, here we are considering two variable inputs, means there is a changes in both labor and capital, but the output, what the output is coming is constant, and we get equal satisfaction at each and every point. We get equal satisfaction. Let's see here with an example. I am taking the example with here it is a labor and it is a capital. I am taking 10 labor and capital is 2. I am getting equal satisfaction of 5. Next, the labor is decreased from 10 to 8. The capital is increased, but I am getting the equal satisfaction. Again, I am decreasing from 6 and it is increasing to 4. And in this way also I am getting equal level of satisfaction. So whatever there is an increase in labor, there is a decrease in capital, but the output we are getting is equal satisfaction. We can say it is an isoquants curve. In this we are taking two variables of inputs. Let's see here. An isoquant is a curve representing the various combinations of two inputs. It representing two units of variable combinations, that is labor and capital. They produce the same amount of output. If there is an increase in one input, there is a decrease in other input, but at the ultimate you get the same amount of output in each and every point. An isoquant is also known as isoproduct curve. We can say isoquant is an isoproduct curve, equal product curve, or production of indifference curve. They are different names. An isoquant is also known as isoproduct curve. We can say it is an isoproduct curve, equal product curve, or product indifference curve. Isoquant curve, different combinations of two inputs producing a given level of output. Here we are taking different combinations. Already we seen here. In first I am taking 10 units of labor and capital is 2, and I am getting the output is 5. Next I am taking different combinations of 8 and 3, and ultimate I am getting 5 units of output, and the inputs 6 and 4 I am getting 5 units of output. So the inputs are in changing different quantities, but the output is same. So isoquant curve isoquant curve represents different combinations. Represents different combination of two inputs producing a given level of output. What is the isoquant curve? Already we discussed the law of variable proportions. In law of variable proportions, only one input are variable, but in isoquants curve there are the two inputs are variable, that is labor and capital. While we are considering these two inputs, but the output is constant at each and every point. While there is an increase in one input of labor, the other automatically the other input, that is capital, decreased, and at the ultimate the output is constant. We can say it is an isoquant curve. An isoquant is a curve representing the various combinations of two inputs. They produce the same amount of output. An isoquant is also known as product curve. We can say it is an product curve, equal product curve, or product indifference curve. Isoquant curve represents different combinations of two inputs. It represents different combinations producing a given level of output. So what are the characteristics of isoquant? An isoquant slopes downward from left to right. Let's see here. It slopes downwards from left to right. And an isoquant is a convex to the origin. We can say it is a convex to the origin. The concave shape means it look like that. Suppose it is a graph I am just drawing. You can say it is a concave, but it is the convex. It is a convex shape. So it is not. It is the indifference curve. So an isoquant slopes downwards from left to right. Left to right. An isoquant is a convex to the origin. This shape you can say it is a convex to the origin. An isoquant is the smooth and continuous. It is the smooth and continuous. Two isoquants do not intersect. If there is another isoquant, they do not intersect each other. Maybe it comes like that. they do not intersect each other, the other isocons will occur like that. In every point we get, suppose like that, in every point we get equal satisfaction. Let's see here. An isocont slopes downwards to the left to right. It slopes downwards from left to right. And an isocont is a convex to the origin. It is the convex to the origin. Concave means like that. And an isocont is a smooth and continuous. It is smooth and continuous. Two isocons do not intersect. Like we are taking another two different inputs. So they are like that, but they do not intersect each other. They are the characteristics of the isocons. What are the properties? Let's see here. Properties of the isocons curve. Isocons further from the origin represents greater level of outputs. While we are considering from this origin, they are the greater level of outputs. The output level is increasing from the origin. There is a different isocons from every output level. The form could possibly produce with isocons further from origin, indicating higher levels of output. From the starting of the origin, we represent there is a higher levels of output. Isocon slopes down to right. Already we discussed, it is slopes from down to right. Along a given isocon, the quantity of labor employed is inversely to the quantity of capital. Inversely means if there is increase in quantity of labor, there is an decrease in quantity of capital. Means one factor is increases, the other factor is decreases. So we can say there is an inverse relationship. So isocons have negatively slopes. Already we discussed in demand curve. Demand curve is a negatively slopes, means when the price increases, the demand decreases. So it is a negative. In the same way, the isocons, when we are considering the two inputs, labor and capital, here the labor increases and automatically the capital will decreases. So we can say it is an inversely relationship. And isocon do not intersect. Already we discussed, we are taking two different isocons. Two isocons never intersect. Since each isocon refers to a special level of output, no two isocons intersect. For such an intersection would indicate that same combination of requires could within the equal efficiency produce two different amounts of output. So isocons, two different inputs have give the same level of satisfaction, but two isocons never intersect each other. These are the properties of isocons curve. Isocon at the origin level, they produce high level of quantities, and isocons from the left to right, why it is down negatively downwards means if we are considering two inputs, that is labor and capital, they are inversely related. When the labor is increases, the capital will decreases. When the labor is decreases, the capital will decreases. So they are down to the right, and two isocons never intersect each other because we are taking two different inputs. They never intersect each other. They are the properties of isocon curve. Another one more property is there. Isocons are usually convex to the origin. Already we shown it is convex. Why? Isocons are usually convex to the origin, meaning the slope of the isocon get flatter along with the curve. It comes like flatter. So we can say it is an, means every point we get same level of satisfaction. So we can say there is an convex to the origin. These are all the properties. What are the properties? Isocon further from the origin repeated greater level of outputs at the point of origin of stage, and it's from negatively sloped from left to right. Slope down to right means from left to the right it negatively slope, and isocons do not intersect. Isocons do not intersect, and isocons are convex to the origin. Next, there are some assumptions of the isocon curve. Two factors of production. Here we are considering only two input factors of production. Only two factors of factors are used to produce a commodity. What are the two factors here? We are using labor and capital. Only two factors of production. We using only two combinations of factors of production. So it is one assumption. And divisible factors. Factors of production can be divided into small parts. Already we divided. There are only two factors of production. We are divided, but the output we are getting the same level of satisfaction, but we can divide our factors of production. And constant technique, there is no change in the technique. While which technique you are using, there is no change in technique. Techniques of production in constant is known as beforehand. So there is no change in technique. And possibility of technical substitutes. The substitute between two factors is technically possible. We can substitute from one among the another. Like in case of labor, we can substitute capital, from capital we can substitute labor. So these are all the assumptions of the Isochron curve. What are the assumptions here? We are using two factors of production, and for these factors of production we can easily divisible, and there is a constant technique, and they are substitutes. These are all the assumptions of the law Isochron curve. What are the Isochron curve? Here in Isochron we are taking two variable inputs, that are labor and capital. For these variable inputs we are producing our output. At what level maybe the output will be constant. There is a change in inputs also, the upcoming output will be constant. The inputs are inversely related, means if increasing one input, the other input will automatically get decreases. So an Isochron is also known as, you can say, it's a product curve, equally product curve, or production indifference curve. Isochron curve represents combination of two inputs producing at a given level of same output. What are the characteristics? An isochron slopes downward from left to right. It is a convex to the origin. It is a smooth and continuous, and two isochrones never intersect. And their properties: at the origin we get higher level of output, and isochrones from downwards, from negatively slopes from left to right. Why it is negatively slopes? Means the two inputs, that is labor and capital, are inversely related. If the labor increases, the automatically capital will get decreases. And isochrones never intersect each other, because we are taking two combinations. For another isochron we take another two combinations, but they never intersect at any point. And they are convex to the origin. Why convex to the origin? Because they are flatter, and we are taking only two inputs. For every input we get equal amount of satisfaction, so they are convex to the origin. And there are some assumptions. What are the assumptions? Here we are taking only two factors of production, two units are taking, and these units we can divisible into small parts, and we are using the same technique, and there is a perfectly closed substitutes. These are all the assumptions of isochrones. Today's class we discussed the law of variable proportions and isochrones. In the next class we are discuss return to the scale and Douglas production function. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts up to now, please let me know. I definitely clarify your doubts, guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.